Mobile Construction Center.
Новые опции строительства. Строит. Строительство завершено. Новые опции строительства. Строит. Строительство завершено. Строит. Новые опции строительства. Тренинг. Юнит готов. Юнит готов. Тренинг. Новые опции строительства. Строит. Установлена новая точка сбора. Строит. Строительство завершено. На нашу базу совершено нападение. Строительство завершено. Юнит готов. Юнит потерян. Установлена новая точка сбора. Юнит готов. Тренинг. Юнит готов. Новые опции строительства. Строительство завершено. Юнит готов.
Waiting orders. Location confirmed. Conscript reporting.
Юнит потерян. Юнит готов. Юнит повышен. Юнит повышен. Юнит готов. Юнит потерян. Юнит готов. Юнит потерян. Юнит готов. Юнит повышен. Строит. Юнит готов. Строительство завершено. Ждет. Мало энергии. Юнит готов. Новые опции строительства. Строительство завершено.
Waiting orders. Target sighted.
Юнит потерян.
Ready, comrade. Moving.
Юнит
Changing
готов.
position.
Строит.
Comrade, for the Union.
Юнит готов. Строит.
Vehicle reporting.
Строительство завершено. Новые опции строительства. Юнит готов. Строит.
Waiting orders. Location confirmed.
Строит. На нашу базу совершено нападение. Юнит потерян. На нашу базу совершено нападение. Добывающий комбайн под атакой. Мало энергии. Мало энергии.
Comrade,
Строит.
waiting orders.
Строительство завершено. Строит. Новые опции строительства. Строительство завершено. Строительство завершено. Строит.
Helium mix optimal. Setting new course.
Vehicle reporting. Changing position.
Helium mix optimal.
Ready, comrade. Changing position.
Target acquired.
Строит. Юнит готов.
Acknowledged. Setting new
Установлена
course.
новая точка сбора. Юнит потерян. Строительство завершено. Строит. Юнит
Helium
готов.
mix optimal. Helium mix optimal.
На нашу базу совершено нападение.
Самолет-разведчик готов.
Выберите цель. На нашу базу совершено нападение.
Comrade,
Helium mix optimal.
ready, comrade. Changing position. Changing position. Ready, comrade. Location
Airship
confirmed.
ready. Setting new course.
Строит.
Right,
We are
Soviet
Soviet
economy. Looks like good place to mine.
Юнит потерян.
Helium mix optimal.
Строительство
Maneuver props
завершено.
engaged.
Новые опции строительства. Строит.
Helium mix
ready,
Строительство
comrade.
завершено.
Changing position. Location confirmed. Location confirmed.
Airship ready.
Новые опции строительства.
Helium
Строит.
mix optimal. Airship ready.
Строительство
Setting
завершено.
new course.
Ready, comrade.
We are our
Pride of the
Norway
working
for
class.
Soviet people.
Conscript
Right,
reporting.
right.
Airship ready.
Строительство завершено. Строит. Новые опции строительства. Строит. Строит. Установлена новая точка сбора. На нашу базу совершено нападение. Юнит готов. Невозможно развернуть здесь. Строительство завершено. Новые опции строительства. Строит. Юнит готов. Структура продана. Мало энергии.
Ready, comrade.
Юнит потерян. Строительство завершено. Строит. На нашу базу совершено нападение. Добывающий комбайн под атакой. Юнит потерян. Юнит повышен. Строит.
Самолет-разведчик готов.
Armored personnel carrier ready.
Юнит повышен.
Acknowledge. Bearing set.
Building
We are
Soviet,
right.
Soviet economy.
Equal share for everyone.
Выберите цель. Мало энергии. Строит. Строительство завершено. Невозможно развернуть здесь. Строит. На нашу базу совершено нападение. Новые опции строительства.
Ready for transport.
Строительство завершено. Строит.
Waiting order.
Helium mix
Changing
optimal.
position.
Maneuver props engaged. Do you have a plan? Cutting path.
Pride of the working class. Ready, comrade. Changing position.
Airship ready.
Let's clear the
Maneuver
air.
props
I'll
engaged.
carry out the operation.
Comrade reporting.
Union.
Vehicle reporting. Moving. Waiting orders. Moving. Vehicle reporting. Waiting orders. Vehicle reporting. Changing position.
Do you have a plan? Getting in closer.
Ready, comrade. Changing position. We are armed for Soviet
Огневая
people.
мощь юнита
Building
повышена.
Soviet economy. Да, we will need that. Vehicle reporting.
Юнит потерян.
Location confirmed.
Conscript reporting.
Order received.
Ready,
Do
comrade.
you have a plan?
Location
Cutting path.
confirmed. Making Russia
Юнит
armed
потерян.
for Soviet
На
people.
нашу базу
Serving the
совершено
cause.
нападение.
Making Russia strong.
Юнит потерян.
Да, comrade
Building
general.
the Soviet
Waiting
Empire.
orders.
Armored
Falling
personnel
materials.
carrier ready. I'll carry out the operation.
Самолет-разведчик готов.
Структура продана. На нашу базу совершено нападение. Структура
Building the
продана.
Soviet Empire. Yes, comrade.
Структура продана. Структура
Comrade
продана.
reporting.
Да.
На нашу базу совершено
Building the
нападение.
Soviet Empire.
Мало
Vehicle
энергии.
reporting. Moving.
Строит. Новые
Ready,
опции
comrade.
строительства.
Location confirmed. Attacking!
Ready for transport. Flak away.
Pride of the working class.
Строительство
Comrade
завершено.
reporting.
Юнит потерян.
New course.
Vehicle reporting.
Юнит
We
повышен.
will bury them.
Новые опции строительства.
Waiting order.
Строит.
Attacking!
Добывающий
Ready,
комбайн под атакой.
Waiting order.
Добывающий комбайн под атакой.
Ready, comrade.
Юнит повышен.
War miner here. At
Юнит
once,
потерян.
comrade.
Строительство завершено. Новые опции строительства. Юнит потерян.
Airship ready. Maneuver props engaged.
War miner here. War miner here. Enemies.
Юнит потерян.
Vehicle reporting. Changing position. Ready, comrade.
Ready for deployment.
Добывающий комбайн под атакой.
Soviet economy. Ready, comrade. Ready, comrade. Building Soviet economy for Soviet people, making Russia strong. Da, comrade general. Waiting orders. Moving.
Ready for deployment.
Vehicle report. Pride of the working class. Serving the cause.
Ready for deployment. Yes,
Waiting
comrade.
orders. Changing Pride of the working class. Relocating operations. For Soviet people.
Airship
Alien
brakes
ready.
optimal. Homing base ready.
We are armed. Relocating operations.
MCV reporting in. Moving construction. Building the Soviet Empire.
Новые опции
Waiting orders.
строительства. Строит.
Ready, comrade. Building Soviet economy. Position. Da, we will need that.
Строительство завершено.
Building Soviet economy. Armed. Equal share for everyone.
Строит. Строительство завершено. Внимание! Обнаружена хроносфера.
Ready, comrade.
Строит.
Conscript reporting.
Новые опции строительства. Строительство завершено. Строит. Выберите цель. Внимание! Ядерная ракета запущена. Юнит потерян. Новые опции строительства.
Setting new course.
Строит.
Waiting orders.
Let's
Moving.
clear the air. Guns loaded.
Строит. Строительство завершено. Юнит повышен.
Airship ready.
Юнит
Setting new
готов.
Ready, comrade.
Target acquired.
Attacking.
Строит. Юнит повышен.
What is
Строительство
the mission?
завершено.
Getting in closer.
Helium
Unit
airship
готов.
ready. Maneuver props engaged. Airship ready. Bombardiers to your stations.
Юнит готов.
What
Новые
is the mission?
опции
I'll carry
строительства.
out the operation.
Строит.
Let's clear the air. I'll carry out
На
the
нашу
operation.
базу совершено нападение. Юнит готов.
Acknowledged. Bearing set.
Юнит потерян. Добывающий комбайн под атакой. Юнит повышен.
Building Soviet
Юнит
on
готов.
the attack. Building Soviet
Юнит
economy.
потерян.
This will make Russia strong.
Юнит повышен.
On the attack.
Юнит готов.
Building Soviet
Самолет-разведчик
position.
готов.
Внимание! Обнаружено устройство управления погодой. Новые опции
What's your
строительства.
request?
Юнит готов. Строит.
Making Russia strong.
Юнит
Да, we will
готов.
need building Soviet economy. What's
Pick
your
'em up,
request?
set 'em down. Pick 'em up, set 'em down. Pick 'em up, set 'em down. Pick 'em up, set 'em
Строительство
down.
завершено.
Air transport ready. Pick 'em up, set 'em down. Air transport ready. Gotcha. Tour underway. Gotcha. Pick 'em up, set 'em down. What's your request?
Need a
Pick 'em
lift.
up, set 'em down.
Юнит потерян. Строит. Новые опции строительства. Строит.
We are
Юнит
armed.
готов.
Need a lift. Need a lift. Pick 'em up, set 'em down. Pick 'em up, set 'em
Conscript
down.
reporting.
What's your
Pick 'em
request?
up,
Air
set 'em
transport
down.
ready. Air transport ready. Pick 'em up, set 'em down. What's your request? Need a lift. Pick 'em up, set 'em down.
Строительство
What's your
завершено.
request? Need a lift. What's your request? Pick 'em up, set 'em down.
Airship ready. Bearing set.
Строит. Строит. Выберите цель.
What's your request? Air transport ready.
Строительство завершено.
Air transport ready. What's your
Юнит
request?
готов.
Fire on
Helium
sight.
mix optimal. Maneuver props engaged. Setting new course. Bombardiers to your stations.
Moving in.
Юнит готов.
Let's take over
Looking
the
for
area.
clearing.
Moving in.
Airship mix optimal. Setting new course.
Юнит готов.
Let's take over the area. Let's take over the area.
Юнит готов. Недостаточно
Let's
средств.
take over the area. Airspeed to maximum.
Airship ready. Bearing set.
Pick 'em up, set 'em
Unit
down.
готов.
Air transport ready. Tour
Changing
underway.
position. Let's take over the
Transporting
area. Siege weapon.
Need a lift. Need a lift.
Natural sanctuary. Going mobile. Looking for clearing.
Vehicle reporting. Location confirmed.
Airspeed to maximum.
Силовой щит готов.
Airship mix optimal. Setting new course.
Air transport ready. Air transport ready. LZ is hot. LZ is hot.
Unit
Need a lift.
готов.
Shutting them down. Need a lift. Cutting them down.
Юнит готов.
Need a lift. Pick them up, set them down. What's your request? Clearing a path.
Let's take over the area. Weapon. Transporting siege weapon. Airspeed to maximum. Airspeed to maximum. Looking for clearing.
Юнит готов.
Airship ready.
Moving in. Looking for clearing.
Air transport ready. Air transport ready. What's your request? Set them down.
Transporting siege weapon. Transporting siege weapon.
Выберите цель.
Pick them up, set them down. Need a lift. Need a lift. Pick them up, set them down.
Unit
Clear.
готов.
Maneuvers in progress. Pick them up, set them down. Transport ready. Visibility clear. In progress. What's your request? Pick them up, set them down. Visibility clear. Tour underway. Visibility clear. Visibility clear. LZ is hot. Visibility clear.
Airspeed transporting siege weapon. Moving in. Looking for clearing. Guns unleashed. Airspeed to maximum. Let's take over the area. Let's take over the area. Airspeed to maximum.
Breaking orders. Need a lift. Gotcha. What's your request? Clearing a path. Need a lift. Firing a path.
Let's take over the area.
Внимание! Создан грозовой шторм.
Let's take over the area. Moving in. Airspeed to maximum. Transporting siege weapon. Looking for clearing.
Air transport ready. Tour underway. Tour underway. Gotcha.
Добывающий комбайн под атакой.
Maneuvers in progress. Gotcha. Visibility clear. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Waiting orders. Order received.
Строит.
Comrade, what?
Юнит потерян.
Let's take over the area. Shot them all down.
Helium off.
Юнит готов.
Maneuver prompts engaged.
Let's take over the area.
Air transport ready. Need a lift. Need a lift.
Airspeed to
Юнит готов.
Airspeed transporting siege weapon. Let's take over the area. Airspeed to maximum.
What armored personnel carrier ready.
Юнит готов.
Airspeed, let's take over the area.
Выберите цель.
Let's take over the area. Let's take over the
Юнит
area.
готов.
Give him some pepper. Airspeed to maximum. Transporting seat weapons. Airspeed to maximum. Airspeed to maximum. Guns unleashed. Let's take over the area. Moving in. Looking for clearing.
Юнит готов.
Moving in.
Pick him up on your left west. Visibility clear. Fire on sight. Air transport ready. LZ is hot.
Юнит готов.
Let's take over the area. Clearing weapon.
Conscript reporting. For the Union.
Юнит готов.
Need air transport ready.
Юнит готов.
Ready,
Vehicle reporting.
Let's clear the area.
Building Soviet economy.
Юнит готов.
Need a left. Ready. Gotcha. Tour underway.
Looking for clearing.
Air transport ready. Gotcha. Tour underway. Clearing a path.
Юнит потерян.
Maneuvers in progress.
На нашу базу совершено нападение. Юнит потерян.
Let's take over the area. Transporting siege weapon.
Do you have a plan? I'll carry out the operation.
Airspeed to maximum. Transporting siege weapon.
На нашу базу совершено нападение.
Airspeed to maximum. Airspeed to maximum. Give him some pepper. Let's take over the area.
Добывающий комбайн под атакой.
Transporting siege weapon. Airspeed to maximum.
Броня юнита
Vehicle
улучшена.
reporting. Moving.
War miner here.
Helium airship ready. Maneuver props engaged.
Making Russia strong. At once, comrade.
Добывающий
We are
комбайн
armed
под атакой.
for Soviet people.
Юнит
Nah,
повышен.
we will need that.
Ready, comrade. Moving.
Юнит
Vehicle
потерян.
reporting. Changing position.
Выберите цель.
Comrade in order. Moving out.
What's your request? Tour underway. Maneuvers in progress. Visibility clear. Gotcha. Gotcha. Cutting them down. Visibility clear. Gotcha.
Строит.
Vehicle report. Taking orders.
Let's clear the area. Ready.
Юнит готов.
Ready, comrade. Transporting position.
Юнит готов. Юнит готов.
Building Soviet economy.
Добывающий комбайн под атакой.
Gotcha. Maneuvers in progress.
Юнит готов.
Building Soviet economy.
Добывающий комбайн под атакой. Юнит потерян. Юнит готов.
Air transport ready. Fire on clearing a path.
Юнит потерян. Строит.
Moving in.
Юнит готов.
Soviet construction vehicle. Relocating.
Игрок потерпел
Hauling
поражение.
materials.
Pride of the working class.
Юнит готов.
We are armed. At once, comrades.
Юнит готов.
Moving in. Looking for clearing.
Transporting siege weapon.
Building Soviet economy. Let's keep the
MCV
ore moving.
reporting in.
Новые опции строительства. Строит. Юнит готов.
For the Union.
What's your request?
Строительство завершено.
Tour underway. Gotcha. Tour underway. Cutting them down. What's your request? Air transport.
Юнит готов.
LZ is
Строит. Новые опции строительства. Внимание! Создан грозовой шторм. Юнит готов.
need a left down. Pick 'em up,
Юнит
shut 'em down.
готов.
Air transport ready. Need a left, comrade. Air transport ready. Shut 'em down. Visibility clear.
Строительство завершено.
Maneuvers in progress. Maneuvers in progress. Visibility clear. Maneuvers in progress. Cut them down.
Юнит потерян.
Gotcha. Tour underway.
Юнит потерян.
Visibility clear. Tour underway. Gotcha.
Строит. Юнит потерян.
Building Soviet economy. Let's keep the ore
Looking
moving.
for clearing. Airspeed to maximum.
Выберите цель.
Armored personnel carrier.
Недостаточно средств.
Looking for clearing.
Waiting orders.
Order received. Airspeed to maximum. Transporting siege weapon.
Pick 'em up, shut 'em down.
На нашу базу совершено нападение. Юнит потерян. Юнит готов.
Do you have a plan? Getting in closer.
Ремонтируется.
Transporting siege weapon.
Юнит потерян.
Airspeed to maximum. Airspeed to maximum.
Comrade.
Order received. Moving in.
What's your request?
Airspeed to
LZ
maximum.
is
Shot
hot.
them all down. Transporting siege weapon. Transporting siege.
Юнит готов.
Moving in. Shot them all down. Moving in. Airspeed to maximum. Transporting
Юнит потерян.
Transporting seat weapon. Looking for clearing. Transporting seat weapon. Looking for clearing. Looking for clearing. Guns unleashed. Looking for clearing. Let's take over the area. Transporting seat weapon. Transporting seat weapon. Load up the belts. Looking for clearing. Moving in. Chop them all down. Transporting seat weapon. Let's take over the area. Looking for clearing. Moving in.
Юнит потерян.
Aircraft ready. Maneuver from
Moving in. Airspeed maximum. Moving in.
helium mix optimal. Setting new course. Setting new course.
Moving in. Looking for clearing.
Vehicle reporting.
Moving
Changing
in.
position.
Let's take over the area. Looking for clearing. Give them some pepper. Looking for clearing. Looking for clearing. Looking for clearing. Looking for
На
clearing.
нашу базу совершено нападение. Юнит потерян.
Airspeed to maximum. Airspeed to maximum. Moving in. Target spotted. Moving in. Target spotted. Transporting seat weapon. Give them some pepper. Target spotted.
Юнит потерян.
Guns unleashed. Let's take over the area. Moving in. Moving in. Looking for clearing. Transporting seat weapon. Give them some pepper. Moving in. Let's take over the area. Moving in. Knock them all down. Airspeed to maximum.
Юнит потерян.
Looking for clearing. Airspeed to maximum. Guns unleashed. Transporting seat weapon. Let's take over the area. Looking for clearing. Target spotted. Moving in.
Крадены деньги.
Looking for clearing.
Юнит
Airspeed
потерян.
to maximum. Let's take over the area. Give them some pepper. Transporting seat weapon. Transporting seat weapon. Looking for clearing. Looking for clearing. Chop them all down. Looking for clearing. Give them some pepper. Transporting seat weapon. Moving in. Transporting seat weapon.
Aircraft mode settled down. Maneuvers in progress. Fire
Airspeed to
on
maximum.
sight.
Acknowledge.
Let's take over the area.
Maneuver props engaged.
Load up the belts. Moving in. Airspeed to maximum. Target spotted. Moving in. Airspeed to maximum. Moving in. Target spotted. Moving in. Airspeed to maximum. Let's take over the area. Chop them all down. Moving in. Guns unleashed. Airspeed to maximum. Let's take over the area. Transporting seat weapon. Target spotted. Transporting seat weapon. Moving in. Airspeed to maximum. Moving in. Looking for clearing. Airspeed to maximum. Looking for clearing.
Юнит
Airspeed to
потерян.
maximum. Load up the belts. Airspeed to maximum.
Строит.
Looking for clearing. Airspeed to maximum. Let's take over the area. Load up the belts. Airspeed to maximum. Transporting seat weapon. Give them some pepper.
Юнит потерян.
Let's take over the area. Transporting seat weapon.
Юнит
Looking
повышен.
for clearing. Airspeed to maximum. Moving in. Moving in. Let's take over the
Юнит
area.
готов.
Give them some pepper. Transporting seat weapon.
Юнит
Moving
потерян.
in. Guns unleashed. Airspeed to maximum. Airspeed to maximum. Let's take over the area. Load up the belt. Moving in. Transporting seat weapon. Moving in. Let's take over the area.
What's your request?
Let's take over the area. Let's take over the area. Let's take over the
Юнит
area.
готов.
Let's take over the area. Let's take
Юнит
over the area.
потерян.
Airspeed transporting seat weapon. Looking for clearing. Chop them all down. Let's take over the area. Looking for clearing. Looking for clearing. Looking for clearing. Airspeed maximum. Let's take over the area. Looking for clearing. Moving in. Transporting seat weapon.
Юнит готов.
Airspeed to maximum.
Установлена
Airspeed to
новая
maximum.
точка
Airspeed to
сбора.
maximum.
Ready, comrade.
Moving in.
Vehicle reporting. Moving.
Выберите цель.
Making Russia
Airspeed to
strong.
maximum.
Да,
Transporting
Commodore
siege weapon.
General.
Load up the belt.
Юнит
Moving.
готов.
Ready, comrade. Changing
Transporting
position.
siege weapon. Give him some pepper. Looking for clearing. Looking for clearing. Moving in. Let's
Юнит
take over the area.
потерян.
Ready,
Юнит
comrade.
повышен.
Waiting orders. Changing position.
Armored personnel carrier ready.
Выберите цель.
Moving in.
Мало
Transporting
энергии.
siege weapon.
Making Russia strong.
Looking for
Юнит
clearing.
Let's keep
готов.
the ore moving.
Юнит потерян.
Airspeed Looking for clearing.
Ремонтируется. Ждет. Строит.
Moving in.
Waiting orders. Changing position.
Let's clear the area.
Внимание! Создан
Waiting
грозовой
orders.
шторм.
Location confirmed.
Юнит повышен. Юнит потерян.
Moving out.
Transporting siege weapons.
Waiting orders.
Let's take over the
Юнит
area.
потерян.
Let's take over the
Let's
area.
clear the air.
Waiting
I'll
orders.
carry out the operation.
Moving.
Airspeed to
Let's
maximum.
clear the
Ready,
air.
comrade.
Maneuvering.
Moving.
Строит.
War miner here.
Waiting orders. Changing position.
Ready for transport. Maneuvering.
Строительство завершено. Новые опции строительства. Строит. Ждет. Прервано. Строит. Строительство завершено. На нашу базу совершено нападение. Невозможно развернуть здесь. Ремонтируется. Новые опции строительства.
Conscript
Структура
reporting. For the
продана.
Union.
Строит. Скорость юнита улучшена. На нашу
Waiting
базу
order.
совершено нападение. Структура продана. Установлена новая точка сбора. Строит. Юнит готов. Новые опции строительства. Строительство завершено. Новые опции строительства. Строит.
Waiting orders.
Строительство завершено. Юнит потерян. Невозможно развернуть
Vehicle
здесь.
reporting.
Невозможно развернуть здесь. Строит.
Ready. Moving.
Юнит потерян.
Ready, comrade.
Юнит потерян.
Waiting orders. Да.
Transporting siege weapon.
Добывающий комбайн под атакой. Строительство завершено. Строит. Новые опции строительства. Юнит потерян.
Comrade. For the Union.
Строительство завершено. Строит. Строит.
Vehicle reporting.
Юнит готов.
Vehicle reporting.
Строительство завершено.
V3 launch unit
Юнит
repositioning. Let's keep our distance.
Установлена новая точка сбора.
Vehicle reporting.
Airspeed to maximum.
Location confirmed.
Юнит готов.
Самолет-разведчик готов.
Новые опции строительства.
Moving to new launch site.
Let's take over the area.
Ready, comrade.
Getting in closer.
Moving.
Добывающий комбайн под атакой. Юнит готов.
Getting in closer.
Юнит потерян.
Moving to new launch site.
Юнит потерян.
Moving to new launch
На
site.
нашу базу совершено нападение.
Let's keep our V3 launch unit.
Юнит
Advancing to
готов.
new location.
Let's take over
Ready
the
for
area.
transport.
Changing position.
Setting path.
Let's take over the area.
Transporting
Siege weapon. Moving in.
Юнит потерян. Структура продана. Юнит
Let's take over the
потерян.
area.
Структура
Making
продана.
Russia strong. Da, Comrade General. Ready, comrade.
Ready for launch.
Let's take over the area.
Moving. Ready, comrade. Changing position.
Юнит
Ready for
потерян.
transport. Maneuvering.
Юнит
Moving
потерян.
in. Let's take over the area.
Pride of the working class. For Soviet people.
Airspeed to maximum.
Юнит
Load up the belt.
потерян.
Transporting siege weapon.
Waiting order.
We
Moving.
are armed.
Have a plan.
Юнит потерян.
Location.
Let's take over the area.
На нашу базу совершено нападение.
Looking for clearing. Load up the belt.
Let's clear the
Структура
air.
продана. Юнит
Looking
повышен.
for clearing. Guns on
Юнит
lead.
потерян.
Fueled and ready. Moving to new launch site.
Transporting siege weapon.
Building Soviet economy. Da, Comrade General.
We'll work for food. Okay. Do I still need this shovel?
Let's take over the area. Guns unleashed.
Ready, comrade. Location
Making
confirmed.
Russia strong.
What is the mission?
At once, comrade.
Let's
Внимание! Создан грозовой
Let's
шторм.
take over the area. Cut them all down. Airspeed to maximum. We're free! We're free! Sweet! Airspeed to maximum. Load up the belt. Transporting siege weapon.
Vehicle reporting.
Attacking! Looking for
Building
clearing.
Soviet
Ready,
economy.
What is the mission?
At once,
Rocket
comrade.
fueled and ready. Do I ready for transport? Making tracks.
Looking for clearing. Let's take over the area.
Ready, comrade.
Moving in.
Moving.
Give them some pepper.
Encountering enemy.
Armored personnel area. Ready.
Vehicle
Firing
reporting.
salvo.
Location confirmed.
Let's clear the air. Let's clear the air.
Transporting siege
Making
weapon.
tracks.
Location confirmed.
Ready for launch. Not too close, please.
Юнит повышен.
We are armed. For Soviet people.
Soviet construction vehicle.
Do you have a plan? Rockets fueled and ready.
Give them some pepper.
Building Soviet economy. At once, comrade.
Mobile construction center. As quickly as possible. Moving in.
Armed for destruction.
Looking for clearing. Let's take over the area. Transporting siege weapon.
V3 launch unit.
Let's take over the
Sending
area.
airmail.
Transporting siege weapon. Transporting siege weapon.
We are armed. Serving the cause.
Let's clear the air.
Ready,
Heading
comrade.
fast.
Location War miner here. Da, Comrade General.
Transporting siege weapon. Transporting siege
Armored
weapon.
personnel carrier ready. Getting in closer. Armed for disruption. Ending airman.
Юнит потерян.
Let's keep our distance.
Let's take over the area.
Armed for disruption. Trajectory set. Ready for launch. Ready for launch. Warhead prime.
Fielding Soviet economy.
Юнит
Russia
потерян.
strong. Relocating
Добывающий комбайн под атакой.
operation. At once, comrade.
Armored personnel
Vehicle
carrier
reporting.
ready.
Moving.
Rockets fueled and ready. Warhead prime.
Soviet construction vehicle. Moving construction.
Ready for launch. We have ignition. Rockets fueled and ready. Trajectory set. V3 launch unit. Let's keep our distance. Advancing to new location. Ending airman.
Vehicle reporting.
Do you have a plan?
Ready, comrade. Changing
Let's
position.
keep our distance. Ready for launch.
Transporting siege weapon.
Let's keep our distance. Ending airmail. Armed for disruption. Armed for disruption. Rockets fueled and ready. Let's keep our distance. We have ignition. Armed for disruption. Rockets fueled and ready. We have ignition. Ready for launch. Armed for disruption. Trajectory set.
We are armed.
Ready, comrade. Location confirmed. Changing position.
Rockets fueled and ready.
Moving. Changing position.
Юнит потерян.
Location confirmed.
Юнит повышен.
Let's keep our distance.
Vehicle reporting. Changing position.
Юнит повышен.
Moving. Location confirmed. Moving.
Let's take over the area.
Юнит потерян.
V3 launch unit.
Making Russia strong. At once, comrade. War miner here.
Comrade, moving out.
Ready for launch.
Vehicle reporting. Changing position. Waiting
Let's keep
order.
our distance. Missile launch mission. Maneuvering.
Юнит
Vehicle
потерян.
reporting. Changing position.
Waiting order.
Waiting order. Changing position.
Ready for
We
launch.
are armed.
Vehicle
Take them out.
reporting. Location confirmed.
Юнит потерян.
Comrade. Encountering enemy.
Waiting order.
For Soviet
Юнит
people.
повышен.
Take them out.
Encountering enemy.
Attacking.
Target sighted.
Building Soviet economy.
Target sighted.
Юнит потерян.
Vehicle reporting. Moving.
Making Russia building Soviet economy.
Ready,
Operation.
comrade. Encountering enemy. Vehicle reporting. Waiting already, comrade. Moving. Location
Airspeed to maximum. Looking for clearing. Airspeed to maximum. Airspeed to maximum. Load up the belts.
Vehicle ready.
Of course.
Vehicle ready.
Building the Soviet
Looking for
Empire.
clearing. Unit reporting.
Oh, yes.
Юнит потерян.
What can I do? Do I still need this
We'll
shovel?
work
for food. Okay. What can I do? Do I still need this shovel? Oh-de-do-de-do. We'll work for food. Do I still need this shovel?
Pride of the working class. For Soviet people. Building Soviet economy. For Soviet
Внимание!
people.
Создан грозовой шторм. Юнит
Looking for
потерян.
clearing.
Добывающий комбайн под атакой.
Sending air barrier.
Vehicle reporting.
Pride of the working class. Relocating operation.
Trajectory set. Let's keep our distance.
Making Russia strong. Relocating
Ready for
operation.
deployment. Ready, comrade. Moving.
Юнит
What can I
повышен.
do? Do I still need this shovel?
V3 launch unit. Trajectory set. Armed for destruction.
War miner here. Da, Comrade General.
Transporting siege weapon.
Area ready.
Добывающий комбайн под атакой.
Da, Comrade General.
Ready, comrade. Changing
Airspeed to
position.
maximum.
Ready, comrade. Soviet construction
Ready,
vehicle.
comrade.
Moving construction.
Maneuvering. Flash away.
Юнит потерян.
Ready for transport. Making tracks.
Добывающий комбайн под
V3
атакой.
launch unit. Warhead prime. Armed for destruction.
Юнит потерян.
MCV reporting in. Moving construction.
V3 launch unit.
Looking for clearing.
Pride of the working
Добывающий
V3
комбайн
launch
под
unit.
атакой.
Moving to new launch site. Advancing to new location.
Comrade,
Pride
order
of the working
received.
class.
Ready
Relocating
for
operation. War miner here.
Do you have a
Once,
plan?
comrade.
Getting in closer.
Building the Soviet
Airspeed to
Empire.
maximum. Load up the belts.
Добывающий комбайн под атакой.
Airspeed to maximum. Give them some
Soviet
pepper.
construction
Юнит
vehicle.
потерян.
Making
Yes,
Russia
comrade.
strong.
V3 launch
Da,
unit.
Comrade General.
Moving in.
MCV reporting
Новые опции строительства.
Moving in.
Добывающий комбайн под атакой.
Let's take over the area.
Строительство завершено. Новые опции строительства. Строит.
V3 launch unit.
Let's take over the area. Let's take over the area. Let's take over the area.
Rockets fueled and ready.
Airspeed to maximum.
Pride of the working class. For Soviet
Строительство
people.
Do you have a
завершено.
plan? Waiting orders.
Airspeed to maximum.
Moving out.
Transporting siege weapon. Target spotted.
Новые опции строительства.
Let's take over the area. Moving in. Target spotted. Target spotted. Let's take over the area. Moving in. Looking for clearing. Give them some pepper.
Строит.
Pride of the working class.
Airspeed to
Once,
maximum.
comrade.
Transporting siege
Юнит
weapon.
повышен.
Target spotted.
Строительство
Moving in.
завершено.
Let's take over the area.
Юнит
Let's take over
повышен.
the area.
Новые опции строительства. Юнит потерян. Добывающий комбайн под
Airspeed to
атакой.
maximum. Load up the belts. Moving in. Airspeed to maximum. Load up the belts. Airspeed to maximum. Transporting siege weapon. Moving in. Load up the belts. Let's take over the area. Give them some pepper.
Ready for deployment.
Новые опции строительства. Строит.
Let's take over the area. Transporting siege weapon.
Do you have a plan?
Waiting orders.
Making tracks.
Location.
Looking for
Строительство
a clearing.
завершено.
Give them some pepper.
Строит.
Moving in. Load up the belts.
Building Soviet economy. At once, comrade.
Строительство завершено. Новые опции строительства.
Transporting siege weapon.
Ready for deployment. As quickly as possible.
Let's take over the area. Looking for clearing.
Liberty is sweet.
Do I
Liberty
still need a
is
shovel?
sweet. Sure.
Airspeed to maximum. Guns unleashed.
MCV reporting in.
Огневая мощь юнита повышена. Строит. Новые опции
Looking for
строительства.
clearing.
Броня юнита
Vehicle
улучшена.
reporting. Location confirmed.
Юнит
Airspeed
потерян.
to maximum. Looking for clearing. Transporting siege weapon.
Самолет-разведчик готов.
Looking for clearing.
Строительство завершено.
Airspeed to maximum. Moving in. Give them some pepper. Moving in. Let's take over the area. Transporting siege weapon.
Making Russia strong. Relocating
Moving in.
operations.
Target spotted. Looking for clearing. Chop them all down. Looking for clearing. Load up the belts.
Mobile construction center. Moving construction.
Looking for clearing. Looking for clearing. Transporting siege weapon. Give them some pepper. Airspeed to maximum. Load up the belts.
Making Russia strong.
Siege weapon. Guns unleashed. Transporting siege weapon. Load up the belts. Let's take over the area. Guns unleashed. Transporting siege weapon. Moving in.
Юнит повышен.
Waiting orders.
We
Location
are armed.
confirmed. Vehicle reporting. Moving.
Moving in. Moving in. Chop them all
Vehicle
down.
reporting.
Pride of the working class. Serving the cause. Equal share for
Waiting
everyone.
orders.
Transporting siege weapon.
Changing position.
Let's take over the area. Looking for clearing. Transporting siege weapon.
Выберите цель.
Let's take over the area.
Внимание! Создан грозовой шторм.
Transporting siege weapon.
Making Russia strong.
Let's take over the area.
Да, comrade general.
Юнит потерян.
Building Soviet economy.
Внимание! Ядерная ракета запущена. Огневая мощь юнита повышена.
Moving in.
Building Soviet economy. Let's keep the ore
Waiting
moving.
orders.
Waiting
Vehicle
orders.
reporting.
What is
Let's
the mission?
clear the air. Airspeed to maximum. Airspeed to maximum.
War miner here. War miner here. At once,
Moving
comrade.
in. Moving in. Looking for clearing. Moving in. Transporting siege weapon. Looking for clearing. Looking for clearing. Moving in. Transporting siege weapon.
Скорость
Let's take over the
юнита
area.
улучшена.
Airspeed to maximum. Transporting siege weapon. Moving in. Let's take over the area.
Юнит потерян.
Airspeed to maximum. Let's take over the area. Looking for clearing. Airspeed to maximum. Siege weapon. Moving in. Transporting siege weapon.
Ready, comrade.
Moving in.
Building Soviet economy for Soviet people. Vehicle reporting. War miner here. Relocating
to maximum.
operations.
Transporting siege weapon. Let's take over the area. Looking for clearing.
War miner here. At once, comrade. Relocating operations.
Let's take over the area. Looking for clearing.
Making Russia strong. Relocating building
operations.
Soviet economy. For Soviet people. Making Russia
Добывающий
strong.
комбайн под атакой.
Conscript reporting. Moving out.
Let's take over the
Скорость
area.
юнита улучшена.
Waiting orders. Moving out.
Building Soviet economy. Serving the cause.
Moving in. Let's take over the area.
Юнит
them all
повышен.
down.
Выберите цель.
Transporting siege weapon. Moving in. Airspeed to maximum. Guns unleashed.
Vehicle
Ready, comrade.
Ready for
Враг
the air.
потерпел поражение.
Let's take over the area. Let's take over the area.
War miner here. For Soviet people.
Waiting orders. Waiting orders.
Юнит
I'm not
потерян.
I'll carry it. What is the mission? I'll carry out the operation.
Moving. Vehicle reporting.
Let's clear the air.
Location
I'll carry out
waiting
the operation.
orders. Waiting
Location
orders.
confirmed.
Changing position.
Looking for clearing. Looking for clearing. Looking for clearing.
Pride of the working class.
Transporting
For
siege
Soviet
weapon.
people.
Добывающий комбайн под
Airspeed
атакой.
to maximum.
Юнит потерян. Добывающий комбайн под атакой.
War miner here. Guns unleashed. Building Soviet economy.
Transporting siege weapon. Looking for clearing.
Waiting orders.
Armored
Location
personnel
confirmed.
carrier. Ready.
Ready, comrade.
Cutting
Changing position.
What is the mission? Making
Waiting
tracks.
orders.
Let's take over the area.
Location confirmed.
Looking for clearing. Transporting siege weapon.
Ready for transport. Guns loaded.
Fueled and ready.
Юнит
What is the
потерян.
mission?
Looking for clearing.
What is the
Transporting siege
mission?
weapon.
What is the mission? Tear them apart.
Скорость
them apart.
юнита
Let's
улучшена.
clear the air. Black away. Armored personnel carrier.
Vehicle
ready.
reporting.
What is
I'll
the
carry
mission?
out the
Operation.
operation.
Maneuvering.
Looking for clearing. Let's take over
На
the
нашу
area.
базу совершено
Load up the
нападение. Добывающий комбайн под атакой.
Airspeed to maximum. Transporting siege weapon. Transporting siege weapon. Let's take over the area. Let's take over the area.
Ready, comrade. Location confirmed.
Юнит
Let's
повышен.
take over the area.
Выберите цель.
Moving in.
Ready, comrade.
Looking for clearing.
Ready, comrade. Waiting orders.
We are armed for Soviet
people.
Soviet economy. At once, comrade.
Юнит потерян.
Transporting siege weapon.
Waiting orders. Moving.
Airspeed to maximum. Airspeed to maximum. Transporting siege weapon. Airspeed to maximum. Let's take over the area.
Ready, comrade. Location confirmed.
Airspeed to maximum.
Ready, comrade.
Moving
Location
in.
confirmed.
Airspeed to maximum.
Open fire! Charge!
Transporting
Ready,
siege weapon.
comrade.
Добывающий комбайн под атакой.
Ready,
Юнит
comrade.
повышен.
Let's
Changing
take over the
position.
area.
Wipe them out!
Ready, comrade.
Mobilizing!
Location confirmed.
Looking for clearing.
Fire at will!
Let's take over the area.
Юнит потерян.
Moving. Ready, comrade.
Attacking!
Vehicle reporting. Location confirmed.
Юнит потерян.
Looking for clearing.
Юнит
Transporting
повышен.
siege weapon. Let's take over the area. Looking for clearing.
Юнит потерян.
Siege weapon. Looking for clearing. Looking for clearing. Looking for clearing.
Добывающий комбайн под
Moving
атакой.
in. Looking for clearing.
Юнит потерян.
Airspeed to maximum. Transporting siege weapon. Looking for
На
clearing.
нашу базу совершено нападение.
Looking for clearing.
Юнит потерян.
Airspeed to maximum. Airspeed to maximum.
Юнит потерян.
Transporting siege weapon.
Vehicle reporting.
Добывающий комбайн под
Ready,
атакой.
comrade.
What is the mission for getting in
Looking
closer?
for clearing. Transporting siege weapon.
Ремонтируется.
Guns unleashed.
Юнит потерян. На
Ready,
нашу
comrade.
базу
Looking for
совершено
clearing
нападение.
Ready, comrade.
Ремонтируется.
Waiting
Airspeed
orders.
to maximum.
Changing position.
Looking for clearing. Let's take over the area. Let's take over the area.
Vehicle reporting. Vehicle reporting. Changing position.
Добывающий
Vehicle reporting.
комбайн под
Moving.
атакой.
Comrade,
Airspeed to
moving
maximum.
out.
Transporting
Юнит
siege weapon.
потерян.
Vehicle reporting. Location confirmed. Waiting orders.
Looking for
Moving
clearing.
out.
Airspeed to maximum. Let's take
Ready,
over the area.
comrade. Location
Юнит
confirmed.
потерян. Добывающий комбайн под атакой.
War miner here.
They fall,
Comrade. Moving.
Transporting siege weapon.
War miner here. Serving the cause.
Ready, comrade. Changing position. Waiting orders. Moving. Vehicle reporting. Changing position. Location confirmed. Ready, comrade. Location confirmed.
Юнит повышен.
Moving. Location confirmed. Waiting orders. Changing position. Changing position. Moving. Moving. Moving.
War miner here. Serving the cause.
Looking for clearing. Airspeed to maximum. Airspeed to maximum. Transporting siege weapon. Moving in. Looking for clearing. Airspeed to maximum. Transporting siege weapon. Looking for clearing. Moving in. Looking for clearing. Let's take over the area.
Building Soviet economy. Serving the cause.
Looking for clearing. Moving in. Let's take over the area. Airspeed to maximum. Let's take over the area. Guns unleashed.
War miner here. Serving the cause.
Looking for clearing.
Making Russia strong.
Let's take over the area.
Relocating
Unit
operation.
covered.
Unleashed.
War miner here. Relocating operation.
Airspeed to maximum. Airspeed to maximum.
Building Soviet economy.
Transporting siege weapon. Load up the belts.
Making Russia strong. We are armed for Soviet people.
Airspeed to maximum. Looking for clearing. Airspeed to maximum. Give them some pepper.
We are armed
Transporting
for
siege
Soviet
weapon.
people.
Looking for clearing.
Waiting order. Location on
Юнит
radar.
потерян.
Ready, comrade. Changing position.
Let's take over the area.
Pride of the working class for Soviet people.
На нашу базу
Let's
совершено
take over the
нападение. Юнит
Armored
потерян.
personnel carrier
Transporting
ready.
siege weapon.
Flak away.
Pride of the working class.
Vehicle
Ready.
ready.
Юнит
Operation.
потерян.
Let's take over the area.
Let's clear the air.
Юнит повышен.
Pride of the working
Let's
class.
take over the area. Give them some pepper.
Armored personnel carrier ready.
Waiting
Cutting
orders.
path.
For the
Airspeed to
Union.
maximum.
War miner here, serving the cause. Da, Comrade General. Da, Comrade General.
MCV reporting in. Yes, comrade.
Building Soviet economy for Soviet people.
Ready for deployment.
Making
Relocating.
Russia strong.
Soviet construction vehicle. Moving construction.
Airspeed to maximum. Transporting siege weapon. Looking for clearing. Moving in. Transporting siege weapon. Let's take over the area. Transporting siege weapon. Moving in. Transporting siege weapon. Moving in. Let's take over the area. 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 Shot them all down. Airspeed to maximum. Let's take over the area. Let's take over the area. Airspeed to maximum. Give them some pepper. Moving in. Looking for clearing. Guns unleashed. Airspeed to maximum. Moving in. Looking for clearing. Transporting siege weapon. Give them some pepper. Airspeed to maximum. Looking for clearing. Transporting siege weapon. Looking for clearing. Moving in. Guns unleashed. Airspeed to maximum. Let's take over the area. Looking for clearing. Guns unleashed. Transporting siege weapon. Let's take over the area.
We're free.
Transporting siege
We're
weapon.
free.
Moving in.
Юнит повышен.
MCV reporting in.
Waiting orders.
Moving
Looking for
For the
clearing.
Union.
Liberty is sweet. Sure.
Юнит
Transporting siege
повышен.
weapon.
MCV reporting
Новые
in.
опции
Let's clear
строительства.
the air. Cutting path.
Строит.
Airspeed to maximum. Looking for clearing.
Строительство
Let's take over the
завершено.
area.
Новые опции строительства.
Transporting siege weapon. Moving in. Transporting siege weapon. Transporting siege weapon. Transporting siege weapon. Airspeed to maximum. Airspeed to maximum. Target spotted. Airspeed to maximum. Let's take over the area. Let's take over the area. Transporting siege weapon.
Юнит потерян.
What
What is the mission? Maneuvering.
Mobile construction.
Новые опции строительства. Строит.
Waiting orders.
Comrade, moving out.
War miner here. For Soviet
Строительство
people.
завершено. Новые опции строительства.
Pride of the working class. War miner here. Let's keep the
Юнит
war moving.
потерян.
Equal share for everyone.
Waiting orders. Moving.
Okay.
Waiting orders. Moving out. Conscript reporting. Order received.
We'll work for food. Whatever you say.
Liberty is sweet.
Okay.
Ready, comrade. Waiting orders. Moving. Waiting orders. Moving. Vehicle reporting. Waiting orders. We will... Bury them. Waiting orders.
We're free.
Waiting
We're
orders.
free.
Moving. Changing position. Ready, comrade. Location confirmed. Moving.
Юнит потерян.
Ready, comrade. Vehicle reporting. Changing position. Ready, comrade. Moving.
Ready for transport.
Юнит потерян.
Cutting path.
Строит.
Ready, comrade. Vehicle
Скорость
reporting.
юнита улучшена. Строительство завершено. Строит.
Vehicle reporting.
Новые опции строительства.
Sure.
Строительство завершено. Строит.
Waiting orders. Vehicle reporting. Changing position.
Строительство завершено.
Vehicle reporting.
Новые опции
Changing position.
строительства.
Vehicle reporting. Moving. Moving. Changing position. Moving.
Строит.
We are armed, serving the cause, building Soviet economy. We are armed.
На нашу базу совершено нападение. На нашу базу совершено нападение.
Securing position.
Do you have a plan? Cutting path.
Ремонтируется.
Yes, sir. High speed.
Юнит потерян.
We'll work for food. Whatever you say.
Строит.
Building
Russia
Soviet
strong.
economy. Let's keep the ore moving.
Waiting orders. Moving out.
Строительство завершено. Строит. Выберите цель. Новые опции строительства. Строительство завершено.
We are armed. At once, comrade.
Юнит потерян. Новые опции строительства. Строит.
War miner here. War miner here. Da, comrade general.
Do you have a plan?
Строительство
Getting in
завершено.
closer.
Строит.
We are armed.
Строительство завершено.
Relocating operations.
Новые опции
Building Soviet
строительства.
economy. At once,
Строит.
comrade. At once, comrade.
Строит. Строительство завершено. Строит. Юнит потерян. Новые опции строительства. Юнит готов. Строит. Установлена новая точка сбора. Юнит готов.
Conscript
Строительство
reporting.
завершено.
Conscript reporting. For the
Строит.
Union.
Юнит готов. Ждет.
Let's clear the air.
Самолет-разведчик готов.
War miner here.
Строительство
Relocating operation.
завершено. Новые опции строительства. Строит. Выберите цель. Строительство завершено. Мало энергии.
Waiting orders.
Строит. Юнит потерян. Строит. Юнит готов. Строит.
Moving in. Looking for clearing. Load up
Юнит
the belts.
готов.
Airspeed transporting siege weapon. Load up the belts.
Строительство завершено. Внимание! Ядерная ракета
Looking for
запущена.
clearing.
Юнит потерян.
Transporting siege weapon.
We are armed. Relocating operation.
Новые опции строительства.
Waiting
Let's
order.
clear the
Строит.
air.
Скорость юнита
Building
улучшена.
Soviet economy.
Unit
Equal share for
готов.
everyone.
We'll work for food. Whatever you say.
Броня юнита улучшена. Юнит готов.
Moving in. Let's take over the area.
Юнит готов. Ждет.
Looking for clearing. Over the area.
Самолет-разведчик готов.
Выберите цель.
Vehicle
Юнит
reporting.
готов.
Changing position.
What is the mission?
Building Soviet economy for Soviet people.
Looking for transporting siege weapon.
Юнит готов.
Силовой щит готов.
Vehicle
Waiting
reporting.
orders.
Airspeed transporting siege weapon.
Юнит
Moving in.
готов.
Let's take over the area.
Структура продана.
Transporting siege weapon. Let's take over the area. Airspeed to max.
Юнит
Looking for
потерян.
clearing.
Юнит готов.
Building Soviet economy.
Looking for
For
clearing.
Soviet people.
Give them some pepper. Looking for clearing. Airspeed to max. Load up the belt. Transporting siege weapon.
Юнит потерян.
Moving in.
Юнит готов.
Let's take over the area.
Ждет.
Let's take over the area.
Добывающий комбайн
Looking
под
for
атакой.
clearing. Let's take over the
На
area.
нашу базу совершено нападение. Юнит потерян.
Looking
На
for
нашу
clearing.
базу совершено нападение.
Airspeed to max. Let's take over the area. Give them some pepper. Target spotted. Right. Working class. Moving in. Relocating operation.
Добывающий комбайн под атакой. Юнит потерян.
Transporting siege weapon.
Структура продана. Юнит потерян. Юнит повышен.
Transporting siege
Юнит
weapon.
потерян.
Hold up the belt. Transporting siege weapon. Looking for clearing. Transporting siege weapon. Let's take
Добывающий
over the area.
комбайн под атакой.
Airspeed to maximum.
Юнит повышен. На нашу базу совершено нападение. Юнит потерян. На нашу базу совершено нападение. Юнит потерян. Структура
Looking
продана.
for clearing.
Юнит потерян. На нашу базу совершено нападение.
Looking for clearing.
Юнит потерян. На нашу базу совершено нападение. Юнит потерян.
Transporting siege weapon. Airspeed to maximum. Transporting siege weapon.
Changing
Maneuvering.
position.
Conscript reporting. Order received.
На нашу базу совершено нападение. Юнит потерян. Структура продана.
Transporting siege weapon.
Building the Soviet Empire. Yes, comrade.
Transporting siege weapon. Target spotted.
Waiting orders.
Transporting siege weapon. Let's take over the area. Looking for clearing.
Ready,
Do you
comrade.
have a plan?
Changing
Getting in
position.
closer.
Airspeed
Юнит
maximum.
потерян.
Waiting order.
Cutting path.
Moving. Moving in.
Armor personnel
Юнит
area.
потерян.
Airspeed to maximum.
Юнит потерян.
Armor
Do
personnel
you have a
area.
plan?
Waiting
Getting
order.
in closer.
Moving. Transporting siege weapon. Waiting
you have a
order.
Юнит потерян.
Soviet
Юнит
construction
потерян.
vehicle. Yes,
Let's take over
comrade.
the area.
Ready for transport.
Moving.
Maneuvering. What is the mission? Maneuvering. Making
Юнит
tracks.
потерян.
Cutting path. Do you have a plan? What is the mission?
Ready
Making
for
tracks.
deployment. Hauling
Transporting siege
material.
weapon.
Ready for transport. I'll carry out the operation.
Ready, comrade. Moving. Transporting siege weapon. Target spotted. Ready,
Ready for
comrade.
transport.
Mobile
Action
construction
path.
center.
Looking for
Relocating.
clearing. Target spotted. Transporting siege weapon. Let's take over the area.
Ready for transport. Making
Let's
tracks.
take over the area. Give them some pepper. Moving in. Transporting siege weapon.
Юнит потерян.
Let's take over the area. Airspeed to maximum. Moving in.
What is the mission? Making tracks.
Looking for clearing. Transporting siege weapon. Chop them all down.
Do you have a plan?
Ready for deployment. Relocating.
Ready for transport.
Ready, comrade.
Making
Siege
tracks.
weapon.
Юнит потерян.
Let's take over the area. We've been hit! Ready, comrade.
Armored personnel area.
Location
Ready.
Waiting order.
Cutting path.
Changing position. Changing position.
Юнит потерян.
Moving. Moving. Changing position. Location
Юнит
confirmed.
потерян.
Changing position. Location confirmed.
Юнит потерян.
Moving. Attacking! Changing position. Ready, comrade. Vehicle report.
Юнит потерян.
Target sighted.
Building the Soviet Empire. Location confirmed.
Armored personnel.
Юнит потерян.
Building the Soviet Empire. Relocating.
Юнит потерян.
We'll work for food.
Mobile
Do I still need the
construction
shovel?
center. As quickly as possible. Mobile construction center. Hauling materials.
Юнит потерян.
MCV reporting in.
Pride of the working class, serving the cause. At once, comrade.
Waiting orders. Order received. Order received. Conscript reporting. For the Union.
Юнит потерян.
Making Russia strong.
Building
Relocating
the Soviet
operations.
Waiting
Empire.
orders. Moving out.
Ready for deployment.
Новые опции строительства. Строит.
Conscript
Строительство
reporting. For
завершено.
the Union.
Юнит потерян. Вы потерпели поражение. Управление боем прервано.